Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here. I'm Ofer Lidsky, and I'm the CEO of DNAtix. And I'm excited to share about our exciting project. And let's begin. So DNAtix is all about genetics. And let's start with some few facts about genetics. In 1866, Gregor Mendel discovers the basics of genetics. In 1953, Watson and Crick discovered the double helix, which is the structure of the DNA molecule. In 2003, the Human Genome Project is completed, and for the first time, a full genome sequence has been done. And in 2018, DNAtix has transferred a DNA over a blockchain for the first time in the world. Our DNA holds our genetic code. It's all the information about our lives. It is the most important information that you have to keep it private and secured. We are now on the bridge of revolution where genetics is going to go digital and people are going to sequence their DNA. So the first time it has been done, a full genome sequence costs $3 billion. And the surprise is that today we are at around $400, and it's going to reach the $99 within the next year or two, which is a game changer for genetics. This means millions of people are going to sequence their DNA. And the process of sequencing a DNA is to take the DNA molecule, to digitize it into the computer, and to get a computer file. So millions are going to have their sequence as a computer file. So where do you store such an important information, which is your DNA? Do you store it on Dropbox or on Google? Where do you store it in order to keep it safe? And the other thing is, once people will have their DNA sequence, they would like to know what the meaning of the DNA is, which is a lot of information about their lives, about their genealogy, about their lifestyle, about their health. And the entire medicine field is going through a change where we are going from reactive medicine to preventive medicine, which means that people are going to use their DNA code and the genetic information in order to prevent certain diseases in their future. So one of the biggest problems is, of course, where do you store your DNA? It means that sharing your DNA can save your life, but it's also very dangerous, and you have to take care where your DNA lies and who has access to your DNA. So this is extremely important, and this is one of the major problems of genetics. It's the privacy of the data. The solution, this is our solution, the DNAtix dedicated genetic blockchain. We are developing a dedicated blockchain for genetics, which will enable, for the first time in the world, to perform genetic services in an anonymous way. So one of the biggest challenges in building a dedicated blockchain for genetics is the data size that we are dealing with. One human genome is around 1.5 gigabytes, which is huge compared to any transaction that is now available on any blockchain technology out there. This is why we are building our own blockchain, which means that when we combine genetics and blockchain, size really matters. So what have we accomplished until today? We were the first ones in the world to perform a proof of concept where we transferred a DNA over a blockchain. So we connected the DNA and the blockchain for the first time in the world. You can read all about that on the web. We have developed a compression tool for DNA sequences. We already released that on GitHub. It's an open source tool that can compress any DNA sequence by 75%, and we are working to improve that by a lot more. And we are very proud to display our DNAtix genetic wallet, which is the portal for the user for his genetic services. This wallet, which is already developed in prototype, is the entry level for the consumer to perform genetic tests. We are now developing the DNAtix token, which is a dedicated token for genetics that holds smart contracts to perform genetic services. So what we're actually creating is the future ecosystem for genetics, where all the different players in genetics could take part, whether it is healthcare institutions, solution providers, genetic counselors, doctors, and in the middle, the consumer itself that consume genetic services in an anonymous way for the first time in the world. One of the biggest concepts of our ecosystem is the GDApps. It's the genetic distributed application. It is the possibility for any player in the genetic field to develop its own genetic application and join the ecosystem and earn tokens. So we are building the blocks for the genetic blockchain, and we invite you to visit our booth, see a demonstration of our technology, and participate in our private sale. So DNA is the code, and DNAtix is the access, and I thank you very much for your time.